Now, Dumisani Chauke is a sporting all-rounder, having played netball at the highest level for the Proteas. She has gone to be a respected administrator as well as an innovative coach, having been part of the South Africa's coaching team for the Netball World Cup in July last year on home soil. She has vacated the role and now focuses on being HoD of Sport at TUT Ga-Rankuwa Campus. She sat down with Benjamin Leshoro in a Newzroom Afrika exclusive. As we take a look at that, this is where I'll be saying goodbye, but Hugo Batika will take over after this. Let's take a listen.
So the sport of netball is on the rise in South Africa, and the proof in the pudding was the country hosting the 2023 Netball World Cup, which was in Cape Town, and I had the privilege of covering that tournament and being there in July last year. And one of the people who was there actually courtside and working with Coach Norma Plummer for the Spa Proteas is Coach Dumisani Chauke, a coach in her own right. And she's sitting down with us today. She has agreed to welcome us into her lovely home and chat to us about her career, her glittering career, I must say. Coach Dumisani, thank you so much for your time. And welcome to Newzroom Afrika. How are you?
No, I am well. Thank you so much. Thank you for welcoming me. Thank you for that lovely intro as well. And welcome to my house.
Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah.
What do you do at the moment? You are not on the coaching or the technical team anymore of the Spa Proteas, the senior national team.
Yeah.
There's been a few changes there.
Yeah.
Where are you? What are you doing?
Okay, I think just to assist your viewers as well as yourself. So I am an administrator by profession and a coach by passion. Right. So that then, leads me to the next one where I'm the HoD of Sport at the University of Technology at the Ga-Rankuwa Campus. I am also the chairperson of SA Netball, University of Sport South Africa. I'm a L'Oreal Sports for Good ambassador. So here we go.
Yeah.
Brand South Africa, Play Your Part ambassador as well. And I do a few other projects where, I was involved with Upcycle the Clover as well as Pep Mini Netball. Yeah. And yes, I run the Dumisani Chauke Netball Foundation on top of that.
You're busy, and you're also a mother.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, well, the mother one is the most fulfilling hat I get to wear.
Yeah, wonderful. I mean, there's so much that you're doing, and one of the things that you've always mentioned, that you've always made a distinction for a lot of people, is that you are first an administrator and then coach.
Yeah.
Explain that distinction.
Yeah, so I went to school to study sport management, which was my passion. I enjoy, the responsibility and accountability that comes with being an administrator, because you are given a task and it's up to you, to put the necessary processes, procedures and systems to achieve the outcomes that are desired by the organization or the institution. So I enjoy that kind of challenge. And the netball part, basically I fell in love with netball because of the opportunity that I get to share my experiences and my knowledge, the fulfillment that comes with a player coming in, you teaching them a few things, or you helping them, with a few things, tweak here, tweak there, you guiding them, and next thing, they achieve and they graduate and they pass and the next one comes in. Yeah. And that is the fulfillment that I get from coaching. But yes, I am an administrator by profession.
And we see that with the work you do at TUT, right?
Yes.
Tell us about that. When did it start? What's your normal day-to-day at the Ga-Rankuwa Campus?
Okay, so there I'm the HoD of Sport at the Ga-Rankuwa Campus. I'm also this year responsible for the Mpumalanga campus. As you know, TUT has 6 different residential campuses in the 3 provinces, which is Gauteng, Limpopo, and Mpumalanga. Yeah, so my day is mostly filled with meetings, interacting with the different staff members, assisting them, guiding them, approving stuff, rejecting stuff, having discussions about stuff, making decisions that then enable us, to provide sporting activities and programs for our students at Ga-Rankuwa Campus. That also then, to towards the end of the day, I do get a few emails or phone calls that I must deal with regards to SA Netball and us planning our tournament this year, as well as the Kuksa Games that are happening the week after USA, as well, right here in South Africa. And yeah, from time to time, I'll get certain requests for interviews like this with you, or you know, I'll have to do something either for the foundation. I know, but it's okay. Either for the foundation or for my side hustles, or, you know, basically having to do interviews for various media houses, whether it's physical, on phone calls, sending voice notes, and basically just also coming home and being a mother, cooking for my kids, spending time with them, doing homework, doing projects. So my day is usually chock-a-block full.
Yeah. You know what? I want to talk about, I mean, I'm holding a book here. It says, stories of resilience and courage, women coaches from a global community. And this is a book of which you're a part.
Yes.
I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. But I first want to touch on, when you talk about being an administrator, there's a lot of administrators in different sporting codes in South Africa. We don't find a lot as young as you.
Yes.
I'm not going to reveal your age, but she's young.
I'm pretty young, yes.
Yeah. What then do you foresee as the future of sport administration in South Africa? I mean, there's a lot of controversy with some of them, people calling for them to step down.
Yes.
You know, your day has passed and everything. What do you foresee for sport administration sport administration in South Africa, if we're going to be part of a larger global community of sport?
First and foremost, with myself working at a institution of higher learning, I see the graduates coming in and out, you know, studying sport management, but the opportunities in the sporting industry are not there, and that is the sad reality. And you find people that did not qualify to be sport administrators or sport managers holding positions, maybe sometimes through connections or whatever you want to call it, or maybe, you know, they were involved in sport from school and eventually got into a job, and then they now, you know, someone just put them in a position and they assume that, you know, they'll be able to administer sport. And it's a sad reality that the ones that studied sport don't get the opportunities in sport. I think I'm one of the very few and lucky ones that, you know, I was able to get a job in sport. And in terms of the future of sport, I mean, it's unfortunate that the leaders that are currently there, you know, they're holding so much onto their position, you know, and it's quite sad that it would be something else if their leadership and how they do things was evolving with the sport. Unfortunately, most of it is not evolving with the sport. You know, they're quite stuck in their ways, not as innovative in how to run sport. And that is why in South Africa, in particular, we are falling behind the rest of the world, because the rest of the world has young managers, young CEOs, young chairpersons, CEOs coming in with new, vibrant ways, because sport has changed from the way that it was run in 1947. We're in 2024. You know, there's different styles of thinking, different trends, international trends that maybe we as South Africans could start catching up to. But yeah, I think the wheel is slowly turning. We will see a bit of change in our sporting landscape, where we will have, you know, younger administrators coming in and you know, changing, you know, the landscape and making sure that it does cater to a global community and not just the South African that we just play for fun. We no longer play for fun. Sport is a business. We are here to win. You know, very often we go there as we've qualified. That's enough. You know, it's about time that we go there. We go to tournaments to win things. Let's talk about the book then. Stories of resilience and courage. It talks a lot in your section of the book. Chapter 3. Yes, it talks a lot about your personal life and your upbringing from Malamulele to Polokwane. How did, firstly, the book come about, and how was it compiled, the conception stage? So basically, I mean, 20 of us came together in Gold Coast in 2018. We went through this program, and at the end, I mean, we had literally formed a little family. We're still connected on a WhatsApp group after all these years. You know, we chat on a regular basis. And Sheila, the lady that coordinated the program, and she was like, listen, but all of you have such amazing stories to tell and you're not telling them. How about I put each one of you as a chapter in a book and we tell the Commonwealth story on how sport brings different communities from different corners of the world together. That's exactly what that book is about. Yeah, so she basically sent out questions, because this happened way after the Commonwealth Games. She sent out questions via email that we needed to just respond to in writing, and then should basically, you know, just check in and see if there's any updates and go back and edit with the editing company that assisted her with the book. Yeah, so towards the end, she was then getting excited. The book is going to printing, you know, any updates and stuff like that. I think that is when she then added the stuff on the World Cup last year, because that happened pretty late last year. And that was like a last-minute thing that she wanted to add into the book, because she said she thought it added to the story of Dumisani Chauke, the story of the evolution, the story of how the opportunities given by Commonwealth can assist someone to get to a certain point. So yeah, that's how it was put together. I think one of the people that I've spoken to about the book were like, well, this is a perfect platform for you to actually start telling your own story. Because again, that story, I might be in quotation marks, but I'm not telling it in my own voice. Yeah. So, you never know what might come from it. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of the work.
Yeah, and it's a simple,
very simple.
Read. It's easy to, you know, on the eye.
Yeah.
You know, some of them are heavy reads that take you hours and hours. I think I went through it in a relatively short time because it was such an easy way of storytelling. And one of the things that I learned about you in the book is that you advised to stop sport.
Yes.
At some point, you were injured and you were told, listen, you risk getting paralyzed. And this is where the resilience and courage comes from that the book talks about. You just decided, I don't know if it was just stubbornness or just courage.
It definitely was.
I mean, if the doctor tells me stop or else, I'm stopping. Not you.
No, I'll never forget those words. And I think that is the power of words. I mean, one thing you say to a child, whether in an office or on a sports field, and it sticks to them. That's the power of words. But yeah, back then, I don't know if it was courage, stubbornness, or plain stupidity, but I just figured, listen, Doc, I appreciate you, and I don't encourage anyone to go against medical advice, please. And that was just me being me. You tell me I can't do something, I'll do it twice and take pictures.
Just for receipts.
Just for receipts. And I think back then, I still had this dream, this burning dream. I said, but I cannot allow you to limit me. Yes.
How old were you?
I was 14, 15.
And your whole life ahead of you.
Whole life ahead of me. Doctor says to me, no, if you keep playing netball, you're going to struggle. You're going to be in a wheelchair by the time you're 20, your knees, this and this. I started reading up on knees and injuries and cartilage, and it's naturally like degenerative cartilage. Yeah. Based on the wear and tear and the nature of the sport, of basketball, of netball, you know, the wear and tear on the knee. And I just thought to myself, I'm willing to pay the price. That's all I said.
What?
I'm willing to pay the price. If it means, it was his opinion. Medically so, and I respect him for that. But I just thought to myself, it could either go his way or it can go another way, and it works out. But what if it works out? I can give it a try. Yeah. If it goes his way, okay, great. I can eat humble pie and then sit in a wheelchair. But if it goes my way, I can then say, I'm so glad I didn't give up. And I didn't. And I said to myself, I'm going to stop playing sport on my terms. And I stopped playing sport 2015 in June.
After having fulfilled your dream.
Yes.
I mean, you played, you represented South Africa, and you've made the basketball team
squad, 2009. Squad. Yeah, national squad.
Back then, And you play different codes. Let's just also touch on that.
Yeah.
A lot of people know you for netball, but you played football.
Yeah.
You've played basketball. You're an avid fan of basketball. I know that.
Yeah.
But you've also played volleyball.
Yeah. I also did a bit of athletics. And those people or the viewers that did know me when I was still younger, and those that do know one of my other nicknames, which was Dunga. That came from football. Yeah,
the Brazilian legend.
Yeah, those that are familiar with me and know me from a young age, they called me Dunga. That was my nickname. Those that I played basketball with at a younger age, they call me Michael Jordan. Those that I did athletics with, they used to call me Marion Jones for some reason. I'm like, yeah. So, yes, I guess sport has been in my veins, I guess, since I was born.
Yeah. Wow. You are the epitome of sport. You are everything that sport is about. And we are continuing after a short break with Coach Dumisani Chauke, and she'll tell us more about what's happening with her career. We're sitting down with her, plus this book, Stories of Resilience and Courage, which actually launched in the UK this week. We'll talk about that. Stay with us. Thank you so much for still sitting with us here on Newzroom Channel 405. We're sitting down with Coach Dumisani Chauke. She is the HoD of Sport at TUT Ga-Rankuwa Campus, but she's also taking care of other things, including coaching here and there. You might remember her as part of Coach Dorette Badenhorst's technical team, Coach Norma Plummer's technical team, which represented South Africa at the World Cup in 2023 out in Cape Town. And one of the things I want to talk to you about before we move on from the book, because there's just so many things in it. Netball took you to school.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
Netball took me to school. Besides just making the national under 16, national under 17 team, I was then offered a bursary by Teresa Leroux. We're still quite close. She was working back then for PE Tech before they came together with UPE to become Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University, 2005, which then changed to Nelson Mandela University. So I was scouted out in Rustenburg at I think SA the 19 chaps. And Teresa offered me a bursary, and that is how I got my tertiary education.
Yeah.
And when I then moved over to TUT to be a staff member, again, one of the perks of being a permanent staff member, you study for free. So I carried on studying there as well. And I guess that is the gospel that I preach through the Dumisani Chauke Netball Foundation, where we go out, we do clinics, development clinics, and we teach these girls how to become better players. We assist them to upskill themselves. Most of them then end up making their district teams, provincial teams, and then eventually one day they can be scouted and get a netball bursary to get an education through just playing netball.
Yeah.
And that is how we are going to use the power of sport to change lives, to inspire, to empower, and to assist those around us and those coming after us.
Yeah, because it's not everyone who's going to go and be this big star on the court, right? Or the field, whatever it is. But you can still benefit something from sport, and education has always been number one. So you are there at TUT doing all of that and doing the clinics with the foundation. But is the coaching done?
For now, no. I still do coaching clinics. Like schools would invite me to come and conduct a coaching clinic for them, and I still welcome those requests, and then we make the necessary arrangements, and I travel out and I talk to the kids. There's a huge difference though, because sometimes you will coach under 9s, under 10s, under 11s. Sometimes you get called by a high school where you're coaching first team and second team players. So the ability to adapt your coaching style and how you bring across the information is quite important. It's something that I've learned throughout the years, having coached, at primary school when I was starting off with my coaching in PE, and eventually, coaching at an elite level with the Proteas.
would you have liked to stay on with the Sport Proteas? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, I did put in my hand for the head coach, and unfortunately, I did make it clear to Netball South Africa that I applied for head coach, and if maybe they didn't see or think that I was ready for that role, and if they wanted to give me assistant coach, I recused myself from that post again, and I said they can offer it to someone else because it would be selfish of me to stay in a position and I'm not going up. And it would be, also selfish for me to even step down to under 21s where you can offer that opportunity to someone else that's coming up. I mean, Precious and Pumza did well recently with the under 21s. So my step up, I'm quite ambitious. My step up was then to be head, but I guess the federation didn't think I was ready for that, and they offered it to someone else, and I'm happy for that. And I'm also happy for the fact that I spoke out. And I was willing to say, listen, it's either head or nothing. And I'm happy with that decision.
You stood your ground and said, this is what I want. This is where I believe my career should be going.
Yeah, it's an upward movement.
Yeah.
Unless you are someone that's comfortable staying on the same level. And unfortunately, I don't think I'm that kind of person that's just comfortable staying on the same level. Yeah. Otherwise, there's no growth.
Should the call come, though, Dumi?
Yeah.
Should the call come to say, SOS, we need your services? Because things can happen. We've seen things happen inside Netball South Africa. Should that happen, Osmudieri comes and calls you and says, come through. We're ready now.
Yeah. Now, I'll grab it with two hands. There's nothing I respect more than the Protea. Everyone, every netball player all over the country, we all dream, or most of us dream, and we want to wear the Protea and represent the country with pride. So that I would grab with the most excitement and, anticipation.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did mention that you're still very young, so that would be, it's going to be exciting when it happens.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure it's going to happen one day, and it'll be very exciting to look at innovations that you come up with and everything. And one of the things that South Africans were hoping happens post the Netball World Cup. I mean, we don't host things so that we, for a month we're happy and then it goes. We want the
aftermath, continuity.
Yes, we want that legacy of the World Cup. And one of the people, I mean, you were there.
Yeah.
Would you say South Africa has had something to hold on to post that World Cup?
I do see on the socials Netball South Africa has been hosting a series of netball clinics. I'm not too sure how that is tied up in terms of the actual Netball World Cup and stuff like that. But, it would have been great where we have a concrete program. There's a difference between a program and a project. A program is a long term with different key performance areas and targets and stuff like that. So I'm hoping there is a continuation to what the federation has started, because I mean we needed to leverage on the attention that we got throughout the World Cup. I mean, each and every girl was watching netball, posting about netball, and they all wanted to be like a Bongi, wanted to be like a Shedin, like a Carla, like a Pumza. We could have leveraged more on that attention and the marketing potential that had for our sport. So I'm just hoping that the federation is taking on such information and they're putting it to good use.
And I mean, looking into the future, is there any conversations that you know of that have been taking place as to what might happen? Is there anything you've heard?
No, I'm not privy to that information. I'm not privy to that information, unfortunately. I've just been focusing on the administrative part of things and just making sure that, whichever space that I am in, we are effecting change and we are being effective in the activities and the programs that we're running.
Let's talk about the foundation then.
Yeah.
What's the latest there? I mean, you touched a bit on it about the clinics that you're hosting every now and then. What do you focus mostly on these days?
Yes. Well, we had a program towards the end of Jan out in Hammanskraal in partnership with Brand South Africa, where we held a life skills session and a motivational talk. At the beginning of the year, making sure that we keep our girls dreaming, making sure that we keep our girls in check, we keep them focused on the end goal, which is obviously if you're staying in a disadvantaged area, the goal is to make sure you perform well academically so you can get out of there. Because there's a lot of social ills, teenage pregnancy, alcohol, substance abuse, that happens in disadvantaged areas. And it's our responsibility. No one else will do this. Our responsibility to go in there, talk to these kids. These kids see us on TV all the time. And, when you go down to their level, to where they stay, and you talk to them and you show them, and on a continuous basis, on a consistent basis as well, it becomes a motivating factor because they can also see that you were born in a small township of Malamulele. You use sport to get out of there. I can do the same. So we do have a couple of life school sessions that are going to happen throughout the year. We also do have various, highlights in terms of Women's Month, Youth Month, that we do special events in those months, and making sure that we keep our girls motivated and empowered. Yeah.
Do you have any particular source of funding for the foundation? You need. It's a lot of money. The things you talk about, they cost money.
Yeah. So
this is from you.
Yeah, well, we're quite lucky that, from time to time we do have certain organizations partnering with us. I talk of Brand South Africa. Sometimes I just go to them and I say, just give me water bottles I want to give out to the kids. Doesn't necessarily have to cost me money. And sometimes they do come on board and they're like, okay, we've got a few, this funding available for you to do something like this. And then we come up with a program and we do that. Other than that, it literally comes from my pocket. So I use the netball clinics that I host.